Hi, I'm Josh,
I'm Dayton.
and today we are reviewing White Boy Rick.
White Boy Rick is
based on a true story
about a teenager in 1980s Detroit who becomes an informant for the FBI and then a drug dealer. His dad also, before all this, sells guns, so he has great role models.
He starts getting into all of this bad stuff because he's forced to.
By the FBI, who then give him the drugs to sell.
So it's kind of all about how people tend to take advantage of young kids like him, but then society blames just him. I liked what this movie had to say.
It definitely is a very poignant message.
The actual thing is kind of forgettable though.
I walked out of it and the only thing I really remembered is, oh, he's still in prison.
Also, full spoilers for this review because it's a true story. He gets arrested, sent to jail. He was in jail
for 30 years.
Far longer than anyone that forced him to do this stuff. A sad story about how corrupt the system is.
It's not the feel-good movie of the year. You're gonna walk out wondering if the justice system does its job.
What kind of surprised me about this movie was that it was less about the drugs and more about the family dynamic between him, his father, and his sister.
It was. And even when the drugs came in, it was showed that he was just trying to do what was best for him and his family.
I'm still trying to figure out if I like that or not. I don't usually like drug movies, which is one of the reasons why I didn't like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I love character pieces. I really like that aspect of the movie. It just kind of switches back and forth between its focus.
I felt more for the characters and seeing that he wasn't just selling crack to make a bunch of money. He was trying to make a better life for him and his family, right, which is a struggle that a lot of people can relate to. Not necessarily on this scale, but just doing whatever you think is necessary.
You were saying a lot of the family dynamic was made up.
I was reading today that the sister of White Boy Rick was angry about how her family was portrayed because she was never addicted to drugs like she is in the movie. Her grandparents, who are old crotchety people in the movie, were the nicest people in the world apparently, who helped raise them. Their dad was never that incapable of taking care of them like he's portrayed in the movie. So after reading that, it's like, oh, well then it's not as good.
I wonder what the movie would have been like if they had gone for that role. I feel like if they made the family dynamic more loving and supportive, then it might have even been all the more crushing when it ends up failing for them.
It would be interesting to see how that would have actually affected your viewpoint of the family, because throughout it does show that these aren't necessarily good people. I think at one point Matthew McConaughey, who plays Rick's dad, says, "You know how I feel, drugs kill people," and Rick Jr. turns to him and says, "Well, you sell guns, what do you think that's doing?"
I like the relationship between the two. The actors also have good chemistry with each other. One of my main issues though is Richie Merritt, who plays Rick. He's not bad, but I think it's pretty clear that he is inexperienced. A lot of his acting is kind of monotone, and I'm not quite sure what parts of that was intentional and what parts weren't.
That's almost a benefit to it because Rick in this movie is very inexperienced with the things he's really dealing with. Like, he thinks he has an idea, but once he really gets into the drugs, viewpoints of it do change. Having a first timer there to do this role of a kid who's in way over his head was a good move on their part.
I just wonder what it would have been like if they had cast someone that looked younger. Because what's weird is I thought he was like in his 20s playing 15, but no, he's actually 15 years old. One of the main points this movie is trying to make is how the system leaves behind people like him and they're still just kids. They're constantly saying, this guy is just 15 years old, but he doesn't look like that. He doesn't look that young. Those moments don't hit as hard as they could.
Because through most of the movie, he is trying to play this role of big tough guy who will do anything to anyone he doesn't care. And I think the FBI agents call him on it at one point. They're like, all right, put the gangster act down for a minute. What do you think of the FBI? Because it's Jennifer Jason Leigh and Rory Cochrane.
I thought they were like the perfect level of condescending for those characters.
Mm-hmm. Rory Cochrane is a great FBI agent. He plays government agents in a lot of things, and it's always really funny.
I'm really trying to think of other things to say, but there's really not much.
Yeah, there's not a lot to this movie. It's just like go in and look at this kid's story of like, oh yep, he did what he thought he had to do, and then he's paying the price for it. He's currently still in jail paying the price for it.
Let's go to final verdicts. None of the decisions this movie made were bad, but I can't help but think about what it would have been like if they had made some different decisions. I wonder what it would have been like if they cast an actor that looked younger. I wonder what it would have been like if they used the actual family dynamic as opposed to this movied up family dynamic. It's good, but there's nothing super memorable about it. It's kind of just exactly what you expect. I'll give it a 6.
I would agree with that. It's a good movie. It's not going to be one of those super well-remembered biographies of a real-life criminal. I do think in a year, people are going to forget this movie came out and probably forget that this guy exists, which is partially probably how he was in jail for 30 years. People just forgot he existed. So I would give it a 7.
So the final verdict for White Boy Rick is a 6.5.
It's not bad, but if you miss it, you're not missing out on much.
Right. What did you think of White Boy Rick? If you saw it, be sure to let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. See you guys. Peace out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe and click here to watch our last video. Also, follow our Instagram account. Link is in the description below. Also, my Letterboxd account is in the description. Thanks for watching. See you guys.